What's the difference between Java ecosystem and Java platform? In this video, I explain those differences. When we talk about Java ecosystem and Java platform, we need to understand first, Java is a standard. So beyond a language, it is a standard and it has multiple vendors or multiple organizations building the Java virtual machine and the Java language itself. Based on that, let's go initially to the platform. So the platform are the place where, let's say, everybody is working right now. So it's a minimal requirement to work a couple of things. In the past, we have three platforms. So the Java ME or Micro Edition that we don't have anymore. The Java SE or Standard Edition, that is what we are using right now, especially with the newest release. And then we have the Java EE or the Enterprise Edition, where we right now have a new home that is Jakarta EE under Eclipse umbrella. So those platforms are, let's say, the fundamental where we are building multiple frameworks. Okay? Naturally, those frameworks gonna use those platforms somehow. And when you have, let's say, a collection of frameworks that has a tight integration, we can define those as the ecosystems. For example, we have Spring. Spring is a collection of frameworks that has a tight integration between them. So if I work with security, I need to use Spring Security. We have Spring Data, we have Spring Boot, we have Spring Core, and so on. So those components are working perfect together. Beyond that, we have the Jakarta EE. So first, Jakarta EE does not compete with Spring, as does not compete with Quarkus, Micronaut, and so on. Given that Jakarta EE is an open source and open standards, where the goal is to define, let's say, the standardized way to work in the Java enterprise. That's the main reason that Spring is using Jakarta EE right now. So if you are a Spring developer, you are using Jakarta EE. If you are a Quarkus developer, you are using Jakarta EE and so on. So if you are using Java Enterprise somehow, you might be using Jakarta EE. And Jakarta EE, we have specifications. So specifications define the behavior and the goal. So for example, we have Jakarta Data, where the goal is to have an abstraction layer in the persistence. Jakarta Persistency, where the goal is to create an API to work with relational database. Jakarta NoSQL, Jakarta Security, and so on. So those are the specifications. Each specification has one API that describes the interface, let's put it this way, in Java. The specification, that is the written contract about the expected behavior and explanation about how it works. And finally, the TCK that can prove that someone who wants to implement this specification can run. Every specification can have multiple implementations, and those implementations are called vendors. So for example, in Jakarta Persistence, we have Eclipse Link and Hibernate that are implementing Jakarta Persistency. In Jakarta NoSQL, we have Eclipse GenoSQL. And CDI, we have Weld, and so on. So to simplify, the main difference between Spring and Jakarta EE is Spring is open source. You can read, study, modify, and so on. Jakarta goes beyond that. So it is open source and it is also an open standard. This way you can contribute, like every organization are doing right now, and you define those, let's say, the minimum behavior to work in the Java enterprise. That is it for today. Hopefully, I covered the idea and the main difference between Jakarta EE, Spring, and so on. So the platform, think more about specification and standards. The ecosystems is more about vendors, implementations, or a collection of frameworks. And naturally, if you enjoyed this, please let me know. And if you have any questions, I'm here to help. And if you want to advance your career as software engineer and architect, subscribe in my channel.